Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're back with another video. My name is Heinzie. If you're brand new to this channel, please smash that subscribe button. It really helps us grow this awesome channel. I know that territory wars is a really polarizing topic now, both at the smaller scale and the larger scale of the game. I thought I'd take this opportunity to get some of the, what I'm going to call some of the best theory crafters in this game at the top end of territory war, just to get their opinions on what the game's like at the moment. I'm really, really looking forward to this. This should be a heck of a lot of fun. So let's start with our boy, Sean, up the top. Sean, great to have you here, man. Thank you so much. Man, let everyone know, how long have you been playing the game for, brother? And what's your account at? I know it's up there in the high numbers, bro. Let us know.
Yeah. So thanks, Heinzie, for that introduction. My name is Sean. I'm a day one player. Still have my same day one account, and I think I'm a little bit north of about 8 million.
Beautiful. Fantastic, mate. We've also got Jacob here as well, another part of the Brains Trust. We have Dave down the bottom. Dave's the eye candy. He's the sex appeal. We'll come back to him in a minute. Right. But Jacob, dude, just let everyone know as well, man. Thanks so much for joining us and taking your time out of an evening to join us here, brother. Just fill everyone in on where you're at. Obviously, you're in Shadowlands as well, man. Let everyone know what's your account all about, brother. Where are you at?
Well, I've been playing since day one, basically, also. Right now my account's about 8.4 million. It's the same account. I've never had an alt, been using that same account for 5-6 years, whatever long we've been playing this game. It feels like 10 years, but yeah, we've been with the same account for a long time.
Fantastic, brother. Fantastic. And yeah, Dave down the bottom, a bit of an anchor when it comes to territory wars. He's the guy that basically abuses me for when I make stupid mistakes, right? That's his job, just to basically rip me a new one. Dave, thanks so much for joining us as well, mate. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. No, it's great to have you here. Look, let's have a quick chat, Dave, about your account, brother. Again, how long you been playing? I assume, again, an early game player. How long has it been since you picked it up?
No, I actually started about 1.5 years, I would say, after the game had started. I spent way more than I would like to admit to catch up and surpass most of the guys. I have an affinity for the game, probably an addiction, and I seriously enjoy it. TW is an interesting topic for me, and these changes have a lot of issues, to talk about.
Yeah, well, let's get into it, boys. Let's get straight into it. So we got a lot to talk about. Territory war is your forte. You guys live, breathe, eat, sleep, territory war in this game, straight up. That's what you guys do. This is your forte. This is your time. So it's been obviously a long time. We've been obviously rocking along with territory war for years with pretty basic type of rewards. Well, the game's changed now. Territory war's definitely become one of the most focal game modes now. One of probably the most important from a reward standpoint as well, leading forward now that Relic 9's been released. But boys, the zone changes I want to cover first. I'll start with you, Sean, up top. I was kind of predicting we'd get about 35 in a zone at the top end. They hit us with 50. That's been a huge jump. Are you sort of happy with that number, Sean? I'll ask all of you, of course. But Sean, what are your thoughts when you saw, mate, we got to set 50 with not much notice to set them? What was your opinion when you hit that?
As many of us were, I was surprised. I honestly didn't think it was going to be that many. I was looking at a 30 to 35 range as well per zone. I mean, they pretty much, if you think about it, they doubled territory war, right? If you look at the amount of teams. I mean, there's one point of war we were making a joke. We're like, at this point of the game, normally it would have been a full clear, right? We're still going because, we still have 3 or 4 zones to go through. I think it's aggressive. I think, we'll probably talk about this as well, but I think time's going to be an issue, coordination time. But, the thing, I know David gets excited about this too, Jake does too, is we get to use all our teams now. We get to use teams that we didn't get to use before. So, that's one positive thing that comes out of this for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. Jakey, your thoughts as well, brother. Were you blindsided as well? I know I was. What were your thoughts?
I was flabbergasted. Honestly, I thought the same as you did. I thought we were going to do maybe an additional, 10 teams per zone. But when we turned on that game a few days ago and we saw 50 per zone, the only thing I could think of was time. Like, how in the world are we going to do this during the week when everybody's at work?
Yeah.
And us as TW officers, we spend a lot of time just being able to be there for everybody and help them and try to, give advice, stream with them and try to give them, make this TW go smoother and better and help David with orders. But I really don't know how we're going to do this tomorrow.
Yeah. Dave, if I can ask Dave, sorry, Jake, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but Dave.
No, go ahead.
How much sleep did you get? That's what I want to know. How much actual sleep did you get?
Actually, funny enough, this past war, all of the other TW officers really stepped up. This was probably one of the least engaged wars I was involved in.
Beautiful.
I had my 3-year-old birthday party, and then I had another event, and I had my in-laws over. It was a mess. So honestly, I appreciate all of them for stepping up, and I'm really not looking forward to them taking the seat back, and I have to step up because I really don't want to do it.
It's going to be rough.
I'm going to be the pessimistic one probably out of the bunch. I think it's absurd. I think it's a joke.
Fair enough.
I can second how much he was gone because I was bitching about it to Jake like the whole time. So
he was.
He was MIA.
I figure I'll start the party on stream.
It's going to be on. Yeah, it's going to be full on.
We don't have to be cordial here, right?
Yeah, let rip. Hey, absolutely. This is a full, no holds barred, let rip. Give your opinion on it because a lot of people are thinking the same thing. This is not unusual. This is not just one guild. And I know a lot of the other, sort of smaller GP, mid GP, sort of, they're thinking at the top end, these guys just going, hey, this is great. This is easy. I don't know what you're all complaining about. I'm trying to make the point that... I
think there's a big misconception that, like, the guys in the whale guilds, that this is, like, all we do. No, we have families and jobs, same as everyone else. This is not... We can't afford to be on here 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
It was a challenge to clear wars beforehand. So to think this is going to be, easy, it's impossible. I mean, coordinating, we have players in Japan and China that it's just absurd. Yeah. Now, compared to like the smaller guilds, yes, we do have more tools to help push the pace along. But even at our level, we're setting boards to just make it hard time-wise. Not necessarily the best and laid out, strategic board, but just to make it impossible for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I think we're all in the same boat, and I think people, looking at us a little differently when we're all miserable about this.
Absolutely. But I think probably something that's definitely amplified the issues with territory war now as well, guys, is definitely the balance changes to the game recently. I want to cover that one. I'll start with you, Sean. Obviously, now that we don't have dedicated Galactic Legend counters, we're now relying on, of course, a lot more of Galactic Legend versus Galactic Legend. And when you've got an issue where that's really your only option and you're kind of relying on now guild members all to coordinate at the same time within a reasonable time frame to clear zone after zone, that definitely makes the game even more difficult than it already is, doesn't it?
For sure. I mean, you nailed that on point. It's just, when you have a zone of 50 of Galactic Legends and you can only use one or maybe two different variations of a Galactic Legends to counter it, you have to make sure everybody's available to be able to clear that zone. Otherwise, you're not getting to the back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a problem, but,
Yeah, absolutely. And the timing as well. I mean, I think that we all agree that we want more time to knock this off. Jake, I'll come across to you, brother. I'm thinking that we definitely need more time, probably more in attack than defense. I think the defense setting certainly can be done around the same time frame. The attack is probably, in my mind, that little bit more stressful logistically to have everyone around and to knock these zones out. Would I be wrong with that, or do you think we need more defense time as well?
I think we need a whole different setup. My thought is this, right? If they extend this to 36 hours, it's still not going to be fair for the European time, right? Because they're going to have 2 night attack phases, and everybody on the American side is going to have 2 attack day phases. So if you really think about it, it's really unfair. They didn't think this through, because I don't even think 36 hours is enough to get through 500 teams. If you do a simple math, if that was by myself, say for example, I had all the counters and I wanted to beat every single team without even dropping one battle. it would take me 46 hours. I did the math today, on an average of 3.5 minutes per battle. It would take me 46 hours to clear the map.
Crazy. And we got to do it in 24.
I mean, I mean, it does. I mean, how do you expect? That means we literally have to have almost above anywhere between 80 to 90% participation and people on, and we have to. And we're not going to ask people to say, hey, you know, take the day off at work, or, you know, you're going to have to tell your family that, hey, you're on hold for the next 2 days. I mean, I don't see how we're going to do it, honestly.
Yeah. Dave, and you touched on this earlier on as well. Quick one. The issues with the logistics and people all being around at the same time, that's definitely a challenge. I don't think they thought this through, did they? You obviously, I assume you agree more with Jake with this sort of thing, where they've just gone, oh, we'll just keep it the same and we'll just make it more difficult.
So I agree with Sean that I love the idea that we get to use more of our rosters. I'm very PvP focused. I wouldn't care if they deleted TB from the game. I never had an affinity for it. Mm-hmm. I do like the fact that they made, you know, PvP play on equal footing as TB, where they're very important, and players, you know, I'm not saying that people should have to do TW to get rewards, but I do think, you know, this game was marketed as a PvP and PvE game, and PvP got the grunt of it for a very long time. Mm-hmm. So I am happy to see it at the forefront. No one was happier when GA came out, or the changes to GA. I love big maps, but TW as a guild just doesn't make sense. Mm. I don't think that, you know, one, I don't think they thought it through, but I also didn't, you know, they always do. So they do an exhibition mode, they do testing, they get feedback. I mean, we're used to the issues. I'm sure they're going to see the feedback, and I'm sure things will change. My big gripe with TW is the fact that my understanding was GLs, you know, when they nerfed all the tunes, like gas and imps versus C, was that they were supposed to try to make GLs on par with each other. The problem is they're not actually on par with each other, so that, okay, for JMK Cat, for example, you're using JML with JKR, with JKL. It's not just a GL versus GL. Same goes for, you know, I don't know, it's so tough. Even SLKR, you need JML, JKR to be somewhat efficient. It's not, there's too much overlap now that you can't rely on a secondary counter to help push the pace. Whereas before, you could have done some theory crafting on the fly, you have some backup counters ready to go. They made it so that it really requires all 50 people on at one time. And truthfully, to be on for 24 hours, it's unsustainable. Yeah. They know it. I mean, we know it. It just is what it is.
Yeah. And I think
get too upset.
And I think it was less an issue before when we had a lot of these off-meta counters available. So that when you're at least in the game, you could go, okay, look, I know I can hit 2 or 3 teams here and probably take them out. That definitely makes things more efficient. Now it's a case of, okay, guys, we all need your JML. We all need your Jedi Knight Luke. We all need your Sith Eternal. Whatever the team is, it's irrelevant. But
nobody was more upset about the nerfs than I was. I mean, I love Imps versus Destiny. That was probably my favorite team in the past year. Yeah. I mean, I loved, you know, building it, out modding people. Like, that was part of the fun of it. It just got, it's a little stale, but I'm sure over time it'll evolve and be, you know, they had to rework it. I get it, but it'll evolve. It's hard to be patient, you know? We all like the game. We don't want to see it suffer.
Of course not. No, absolutely. And it was getting really close, wasn't it, with the previous format for the more higher-end guilds where, I mean, you know, the boards were basically being filled with Galactic Legends right through, or very, very close to it. You could easily fill that. Obviously, we can't now. We certainly need to drop more teams in to counteract that. But I'm kind of happy myself that, they have stretched it so that it's not a Galactic Legend filled board. I think that's great. I really, really like that. And you have to try and think of ways that you can steal those banners now, you know, strategically to ensure some efficiency, because it is still an efficiency battle at that level in most cases. I mean, you kind of expect, and I've seen it, you kind of expect most teams are going to clear the board. It's just a case of, at that level, how well they're going to clear it and how efficient they're going to be during that time to get you the win. That's definitely how it all works out, boys. But that's just my opinion anyway. Doesn't mean much. But let's talk about Maul. We got Maul arriving really soon. Okay, we got Maul popping up and joining us. Sean, Lord Vader's doing some work as he is right now. What the heck? is how tough is it going to be when Maul arrives? I mean, I see this being a real nasty team. I don't see many options out there early on that are really going to take it on. I think it's made to shut down Kenobi, for instance. I think that we know that, or Cat specifically. That's what Maul seems to be for. Do you think this is something that most people would kind of keep for attack, or they're just going to chuck it on defense and go, hey, deal with it? Like, what would be your thinking when Maul arrives on how people will use him once he's unlocked?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, disclaimer, I myself don't have Lord Vader unlocked yet because, I'm slow grind on my end. But just, from what I've seen and how we play in Territory Wars, I think it's going to be a defensive team. I think, and David could disagree. He always disagrees with me anyway. But I think it's going to be on defense unless, there's another battle option for him. And again, if he's going to be a team where only one other Galactic Legends can beat, then, I don't see how he could be on defense, right? Like, is JML still going to be viable against Lord Vader with Maul on there? I don't know. It's a question. So, my initial thoughts is probably when Maul is included in the team, he'll probably be on defense.
Yep. And I think Jake, I think when most characters come out, I think the majority of the time people put them on defense anyway because they're just unsure on how to take it on efficiently yet until people get more practiced or used to taking on those characters effectively. So I think that, as Sean said, I think that's definitely the way that most people will go as well. You kind of agree with that, or you just go, let's have fun with our toys?
I think Sean made a good point. I think, we really don't know yet, right? I think we're just all assuming exactly how it's going to work out. I mean, not until he gets unlocked and we put the Zetas on him and we do a lot of testing. I mean, the one thing we're looking forward to, me, David, and Sean, is testing, right? And finding new counters with it and finding out what's the best option for TW. But, it's exciting. He's going to change the whole makeup of the game. He will probably do exactly what Kat did when she came out. She completely changed the game itself in TW. So, every TW is based on, where is Kat going to be? Is she going to be on offense? Is she going to be on defense? Which comp is she going to be with? I mean, that's the main thought going into TW just about every single war since she came out. And I think Maul now is going to be the talk of the whole thing now. So it's exciting. I'll tell you that. So I think that, we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be a fun theory crafting time for Shadowlands.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it. Dave, do you think Maul will be that much of a game changer? We've seen what he's going to bring to the table.
We've seen it with like Malik making DR team, take it to a different level. We saw what Cat does for J&K, where Gas beat it before. Of course it's going to. I think it would be hard to say it won't be. Yeah. But okay, you adapt, you theory craft, and something's going to pop up, and that's the end of it. If nothing pops up, it goes on defense, right?
That's normally how it works. It is certainly something to consider, and I've got the red crate on, 2 out of 3. We've got one more grind fest to go. We're almost there.
There you go.
One more.
One more to go. We're almost there, guys. Batten down. Get the KY back out. We're going to grind our way through this one again once more. But look, I want to ask you boys, if I can, if you had the option of changing Territory War at the level that you guys are at, this is tip of the spear stuff. Everyone out there, this is right up the top end. If you had an option of changing something in war at the moment, what kind of thing would you change, Sean, if possible, or what would you add? Is there something that you would make a change to currently,
Well, first off, 48 hours is 24 hours, not enough time. And I think the rewards would have to be, done. I mean, I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze right now for the amount of effort that we put in. I mean, just based off that last war, and all the time that, that took. But yeah, those would be my 2 things.
Fair enough. Jake, your thoughts as well. Is there something that you would change? Time obviously, as Sean has said, is there anything else you'd think about changing as well? Or
yeah, I think maybe if they maybe lowered the level of how many teams are per zone. I mean, because if you do the 48-hour thing like Sean just mentioned, then you're probably going into you know, it's going to mess up the rest of the calendar, right? I mean, the way the calendar is set up for each month for TVs, for certain awards, you know, you're going to start having it overlapping with, you know, with Conquest, and Conquest is already a pain in the butt. So I think if they lower it a little bit, you know, maybe the 35 teams, I think that would be better. I think for the livelihood of the game, for the livelihood of people's lives, especially us in Shadowlands, because we're so dedicated to TW, me, David, and Sean, and the rest of the team. I mean, we spend, and David can tell you, we literally spend right after the war that evening, we're already talking about the next war, you know? So, I mean, we don't take a day off, hardly. So it would be better if they lowered the teams a little bit, and, you know, they could keep it for 24 hours. If they lowered it to maybe 30, 35, maybe 40 even, but 50, wow, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think if you just lowered the teams a little bit per zone, I think it would be a lot better.
Yeah. So bring it back to more of a 50%, you know, depending on how many teams you normally ran with previously, add 50% to it. That's fair enough. Not 100%. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Cool. Dave, your thoughts as well. Do you agree with that, or anything else you want to add as well, brother? Anything else you want to change?
I actually would rather than keep it the same, if not expand it, make it a week long. And if you face one team every week.
David doesn't want to play TB, that's why.
Yeah, but they don't.
He doesn't want to be. He wants to get rid of TB.
I do. I would play 4 TWs a month if I could, and week long each. I'd be the happiest person ever. But I know it's an unpopular opinion and whatever. But
David and I are waiting for the option to sim territory battles. Right? You just click the sim button, just get all your.
Yeah.
That actually would be. That's smart. That's smart.
We're on the verge of it. It's coming. I feel it.
I love it.
No, I don't hate TV. I just really love PvP. Like that's the key to it.
Yeah.
I think even if you wanted, I mean, there's so many things, right? Like Executor is so overpowered. I think everyone's just miserable with that because you really need all 50 players online. You know, there's something coming to make that easier. You know, there's a red flag or something coming in the next 3 months or 2 months. Just always, right? You provide a problem, you provide a solution, and people are going to wail on it.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. I think once we get a handle and we get a little more familiar with all the kits and with the with Maul coming out, and there's going to be marquees, there's going to be, you know, little tunes along the way to make things a lot easier, I hope. You know, I think it'll get better. I do think in the interim, they should lessen the teams if they're going to keep the same format to 35 or even, you know, go back, to be honest, because 25, it was still hard enough. But it's fun to have something different. I'm not gonna lie, I got very excited when I heard there was changes. Just the reality of it is not what I envisioned.
Yeah, we were all excited. We were ecstatic, actually. I mean, you get to use beat counters that we haven't used in 3 years. I mean, using Night Sisters, you know, to clear a wall, you know, pulling out First Order, JTR with Brothers. I mean, what?
Yeah.
How long has it been since we've used those teams?
Yeah.
We
popped them on defense, even in GAC as well. I mean, we tend to drop them on defense in a lot of cases as well. It's definitely refreshing to use those teams that you definitely haven't used in the past. 100%.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with that. But guys, I want to finish this video up because I don't want to hold you much longer. But guys, we got as I said, some of the smartest people that play this game, especially in PvP and Territory Wars. I want some tips, fellas. I want you to give these guys some love and give them some ideas on your approach and how you can give someone some sort of advice on how to approach Territory Wars generally. So, Sean, give someone some tips, man. Give us some of your knowledge. Come on, let's hit the brain there. What can you share? What can you share that's not IP?
Sean's going to give his secrets out.
It's a joke. And don't say boot Heinze out of the guild. Let's be clear. That's not an appropriate answer. Okay.
Never, Heinze, never.
But Sean, let us know, man. What would you recommend for everyone out there when it comes to running a territory war? What would a piece of advice you'd give?
So make sure your mods are on every single tune. Now, I think now that's more important than ever because you don't know what counter you're going to be using for some of those B teams.
Yep.
Know your kits, you know, because again, we're pulling out stuff that we haven't used in a while. And, you know, I know some guilds, you know, stream every single fight. Some do majority mix, some put instructions out. But you got to know, you got to know what those moves do, especially since time's an issue. You know, we're not available to stream every single battle. You know, it's just not, it's not possible. Like Jake said, he had a minute, 3 minutes and 50-second match, whatever he did some Jake math in his head or whatever, came up with that number. Yeah, I mean, you just got to know your kids, know what they do, and put mods on everybody.
Yep. No, I like it. Thank you so much, man. Jake, your thoughts as well? Anything you want to add to that, or even anything preparation-wise in the lead-up? Like, have you got any tips for that as well, just to give people an idea on how to prepare early for a battle, you know?
Yeah, man, I think right now, one of the most important game modes now, if they're going to keep TW with this type of format, and now hopefully they'll extend the time, but if they keep it the way it is, I think now GAC is really more vital than it's ever been. Because now I think GAC is going to be the crutch on how you want to practice counters. So I think the 5 for 5, I think they need to get completely rid of 3 versus 3. I just want to put that out right now. That it's useless, does nothing for the game. It's a waste of time. I don't even turn on the game when there's 3 versus 3 GAC. I guarantee all the top players and all the top guilds will tell you the exact same thing. It's a waste of time, right? I think the 5 versus 5 is the real kind of, the full team, the synergy, it's the theory crafting that you do with. I think it's that much more vital now on the 5 versus 5 GAC season to be able to practice your counters. So if I was going to give anybody advice, I'm like, I never took GAC as seriously as I've done in the past. But I think now with this new format, I think I need to really step it up on GAC now and really, really start, practicing. So that's one big thing I definitely would recommend everybody to do.
I like it. And Dave,
yep.
Give us a pearl of wisdom from the big boss man. Come on, give us something special. Give everyone out there what's your top tips that can help people improve their Territory War performance.
I think a big factor is the motivation for your guild. A lot of it is outside of the game. So definitely enjoy the wins and just try not to get too harsh or too mean on a loss or if there's an issue. Try not to boot anybody before rewards are paid out.
David, are you talking about you?
It's a game. I think people need to take a step back sometimes and just realize like it's still for fun. And we're all competitive at the top. I mean, that's just who we are, and we like winning.
Yeah.
But there's smarter and better people at this game than I am, and I'm not, foolish enough to, not admit that. Yeah. I think that a lot of it is motivating your players and the culture you create in your guild. Because when people want to play for you, they'll show up when you need them to. And if not, well, maybe you do need to find a replacement.
Straight up. If you don't, put up or get out. That's the word straight up from Dave.
But I will say, as a quick note, I do hate seeing like guilds like falling apart and stuff over TW. I think that is absurd. Yeah. I think people need to weather the storm best they can, but not like lose sight of, having friends in the game and like enjoying the game.
Yeah. Some of the best parts of the game in general, guys, let's be honest, is the social aspects. I mean, if you get into a good guild where people are hanging out and enjoying themselves, and I mean, obviously, quite often I jump in to a voice chat in our guild chat, and people just hanging out. They're just keeping an eye on things and checking out the progress and see who's doing what, and it's a really cool social atmosphere where we give a bit of. We talk some smack talk against each other, and if I stuff up, well, it's nothing but one, just a full tirade from Dave. He's always cool, calm, collected. Never lets rip, never lose it, never rages. I've never seen that from Dave ever. I am being a little bit sarcastic, ladies and gentlemen. He lets rip
I've had
when we
rage.
need to.
I've had the rage.
Oh, yeah. Not everyone in the guild has seen it. But I'll tell you the truth, nobody makes the same mistake twice. I can guarantee that.
It works.
No.
It works. Absolutely.
Very true.
He's been well behaved lately. I think I've probably raged out more than he has.
My kids are taking too much energy out of me. I gotta get rid of them.
It's absolutely fantastic. All jokes aside, guys, it's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, Sean. Thank you, man. It's been great. Jake and Dave, thank you for taking time out of your lives to join us on this video.
Hey, Heinze, I want to say something. We really, everybody that's going to be watching this video, Heinze's part of Shadowlands, and you've really made this whole thing, this whole experience since you've been on here really cool, man. So thanks a lot for doing all these videos with the Guild and with Fulbright, with us three. You're a cool dude. So
thank you, brother.
Hopefully you stick it out with us, but
hell yeah, I'm not going anywhere unless you boot me. It's that simple. I'm not going anywhere, damn it. But no, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Promise myself wouldn't cry. Thank you. It's great.
No worries, man.
No, it's been great. Thank you, guys. It's been awesome. Please, in the comments below, guys, hit the comments below. Let us know what you guys think about the chat. Anything you guys want to add? Any questions you've got? Pop them in there as well. And the guys, I'm sure, will check the comments and answer them. If not, I'll give them a boot and tell them to answer them for you, okay? So we'll check that out as well. So check out the comments and let us know what you guys think, and throw some questions our way. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit that subscribe button. Really, really important. See you soon, guys. Thanks. Bye.